Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahano Bhunaktu Saha Vidyam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhi Tamastuma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti 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 Hari Om. Shriman Venkatanatharya Kavitarkika Kesari Vedantacharya Varyo Me Sannidhattam Sadardi. We were seeing the Prabhava Paddhati, chapter named Prabhava Paddhati of Paduka Sahasram by Vedanta Deshika. Prabhava Paddhati, or the chapter which talks about the glory or the influence of Paduka Sahasram. We will see the 43rd verse of the Paduka Sahasram, or the 13th verse of Prabhava Paddhati. Ambuni ambunidehe ananya gativihi meenaihi kiyad gamyate kleshe napi kiyad vyalangihi rabasotungaihi plavangeshwaraihi Vignata kiyati punah kshitibhrta manthena gambhirata kim taihi keshava paduka guna maham bodhehe tatastha vayam. Here the qualities of the paduka of Lord Ranganatha are compared to an ocean. Guna maha ambodehe. So big ocean. So here the Anvaya or prose order is like this. Ananya gatibihi meenaihi ambunidehe ambuni kiyad gamyate rabasa uttungaihi plavang angeshwaraihi kleshe pravangeshwaraihi kleshe napi ambunidehe. Then comes kleshenapi ambunidehe gambhirata kiyad vyalangi kiyad vyalangi. Then manthena shitibrata gambhirata. Then kiyati punah vignata taihi kim vayam Keshava Paduka Guna Mahambodehe Tatastha. This is the prose order. Like in the previous verses, this verse is also in the Shardula Vikridita meter. So this is the last verse in this chapter to be in that Shardula Vikridita meter. So here the meaning is like this. The fish meenaihi ananya gatibihi ambunidehe ambuni kiyad gamyate. So fish which live in water, for those fish, how much gamyate kiyad, how much gamyate have they crossed of ambunidehe, of the ocean. Ambuni means water of ocean. How much water of ocean have they crossed? Fish, they live in water. Without water, they cannot live. Water is the source of life for fish. But fishes, even fishes who are living in the ocean, how much of ocean have they actually seen? Very less. That means they have not seen much ocean. Though they live in the ocean, and without ocean they cannot have any life, Even though that is the case, they have not seen much of the ocean. They have not crossed much of the ocean. A fish cannot say that I have crossed the entire ocean. I have seen the entire ocean. That is the predicament here. They have not seen. So similarly, the monkeys means great monkey warriors. That means here the reference is to Hanuman, who jumped across the ocean to go to Lanka, Sri Lanka. So that monkey, and also other monkey soldiers who built a bridge to cross the ocean to go to Lanka. So all these monkeys, they, how much they have, kiyad vyalangi kleshena api. Kleshena means with great difficulty also. There again this ambunidehe. So this ambunidehe word is used 3 times. First, in the first example of fishes, then monkey. So kleshena api ambunidehe kiyat vyalangi. How much have they crossed? These monkeys, how much have they crossed this ocean? Even uttungaihi, great monkeys who are known for their speed. Plavanga ishwaraihi, the monkeys who are known for their speed. These monkeys, kleshenapi, even with great difficulty, kiyad vyalangi, how much have they actually crossed this ambunidehe? How much have they crossed? So only one part they have crossed. They have not crossed the whole ocean. Similarly, during the churning of the Milky Ocean, so first ocean was ocean in which fish live. The second ocean, fish live in water. So then that was one ocean, like fresh water, you can say. That is, ocean means it is freshwater fish. Then there is this is one more interpretation. Then the monkeys, they crossed the ocean, so salt water. Now third water is milk water, Kshira Sagara, where Lord Ranganatha or Vishnu, Lord Vishnu resides. So what is the ocean there? There, Kshitibrita, Manthena. So this ocean, there, Kshitibrita Ambunidehe. So this ocean, how much of that ocean, Manthena, while churning, how much of that ocean has been seen? Gambhirata means in depth. How much of the depth of the ocean has been seen? So 3 things are there. Fish, they are living on the waters, and the means that they cross, they go from one side to the other side, etc. So the fish is actually from one side to the other side, means going in one place locally, and so it is not possible to see the entire waters of the ocean. And the monkeys led by Hanuman, so he crossed from one shore to the other. So that is the breadth, he saw the breadth. But then in the case of churning of the Milky Ocean, Kshira Sagara, what happens? The Kshira Sagara, this mountain has been kept there, Mandara mountain. With the help of the mountain, with the help of Vasuki as the churning rope, mountain as the rod, this whole, so that is what here Mantha means the ocean. So that is used, that mountain, Mantha mountain was used for churning the ocean. So how much was that churning rod able to? Kiyati punaha kiyati vijnata. How much was it able to know the depth of the Gambhirata, the depth of the ocean? That means it was not able to know the depth of the ocean much. Because you cannot, that ocean, it cannot, the churning rod, it cannot touch the end of the ocean. Because if it touches, then it cannot churn properly. So if it is not touching the bed of the ocean, that means it has not known properly. That is the idea here. It has not known the ocean properly. So how much can it know the churning rod? That is, while this churning was taking place, like mentioned in many Puranas, that churning, the rod which was kept, that is the Sumeru mountain, which was used as the churning rod. It cannot have seen the depth of the ocean. It cannot have seen the depth of the ocean. And expanse of the ocean is not seen by the fishes. Though they play about and they live in the ocean, they have not seen the entire expanse of the ocean. And the breadth of the ocean, though they went from one shore to the other, Hanuman and his other monkey warriors, they would not have seen the entire breadth of the ocean. So, in that sense, then how is it possible? Because these people, they have not been able to kim taihi kim means what of them? These people have not been able to see the ocean, means the entire extent of the ocean. They have not been, length, breadth, or area of the ocean, they have not been able to cover. So similarly, we Keshava Paduka Guna Maham Bodhe Tatastha. So we are not even thinking of venturing into this activity of knowing the ocean. Here, ocean of what? Keshava Guna Maham Bodhe. Keshava Paduka Guna Maham Bodhe. The ocean of the qualities of the Paduka of Keshava. Keshava means one who has killed Keshi, that is Sri Krishna or Lord Vishnu. So the Paduka or the slippers, the footwear of Lord Vishnu, we are not even trying to get into the ocean or to know neither the depth or the breadth or the area of the ocean. We don't want to know because it is so difficult to know. Even by great people, ocean was not known. So even fish, which is living its entire life in the ocean, cannot know. So we therefore we have decided that we will be tatastha. We will be on the tata shore. We don't want to go into the waters of this ocean of the great qualities of the great Paduka of Lord Ranganatha. The idea is that the qualities of Lord Ranganatha's Paduka is so vast and so much, so numerous that it is like trying to gauge the ocean. It is not possible. You cannot gauge the ocean. So here, Vedanta Deshika has written the Paduka Sahasram overnight. But though he has done it overnight, he refers to various texts, both from poetry and also from religious texts. He refers to many incidents from the Puranas. He refers to many references in other texts, etc. Similarly, here, this comparison of the ocean and the qualities of Paduka, he is doing, and he is trying to bring a comparison much like a poet, Murari, a Sanskrita poet who was named Murari. And that verse in question also was composed in Shardula Vikridita meter. So here also he has composed it in Shardula Vikridita meter. So that verse, there also, there about the churning rod, that is the Meru, it is told apatala nimagna pivaratanuhu janati mantachalah. So the idea there was that abdhilangita eva vanara bhataihi kintvasya gambhiratam apatala nimagna pivaratanuhu janati mantachalah. So though abdhilangita eva vanara bhataihi, though the soldiers, monkey soldiers, or the army of monkey warriors of who went to the other shore for the sake of Rama, Sri Ramachandra, what they did, they only langita, they only crossed the ocean. They only crossed the ocean, but they did not understand its depth. And the depth, apatala nimagna pivaratanu. Pivaratanu means one who has tanu, body, which is pivara, fat. So the fat mantachala, or the Sumeru mountain, it only knows apatala, which went up to patala loka. Nimagna pivaratanuhu. It went into the sea up to patala loka. And only it can know the janati, gambhiratam janati manthachalah. Only it can know the depth of the ocean. But that is not possible, because giving logic, applying logic, it is not possible that the ocean can be churned by any rod which goes up to the end of the ocean, bed of the ocean. It is not possible to churn, because then that rod will not be free and it will not be churning. Just like when we churn milk to get butter, extract butter, the churning rod is not touching the vessel, end of the vessel, means bottom of the vessel. If it touches the bottom of the vessel, you cannot properly churn the milk to get butter, as there will be friction, and then that churning will not be proper. So if sea also we are using a churning rod, that churning rod cannot touch the bottom of the water. So if it is Shira Sagara, that means it is milky sea, then milk or water will become it will become churned, it will become the bed of the sea will bring out mud, etc. So the water will become worthless. So the churning cannot take place. One has to suspend the churning rod. It should not touch the base of the sea. That is the idea. That is the idea. It should not touch the base of the sea. It should be suspended. And so where Murari, the poet Murari, he is saying that it is apatala nimagna, means it was submerged till patala. Vedanta Deshikan does not accept this. He says, no, it is not submerged till patala. It is not gone till the depth of the ocean. And that is why he says that manthena kshitibhrita ambunidehe gambhirata kiyati punaha vijnata. So this manthena, by that manthachalaha, that means by that mountain which was used to churn the ocean, by that mountain, how much of this ocean's depth has been known? Gambhirata, depth. Kiyati punaha vijnata, how much of its depth has been known? That means its depth is not known. So the entire verse, which was written by this poet called Murari, that goes like this: Devim vacha upasate bahavaha saram tu saraswatam janite nitaram asau gurukula klishto murari kavihi. So then abdir langita eva vanara bhataihi, that is the latter half, kintvasya gambhiratam apatala nimagna pivaratanuhu janati manthachalah. So here, that is why this particular verse is almost in reply or response to Murari's verse, where Vedanta Deshikan says that, yes, this Vedanta Deshika says that, yes, even the churning rod, the Sumeru, could not touch the bottom of the ocean. And so we would not even venture to understand the qualities of the Paduka. We will not even try to do that. We will just be satisfied by being tatastha, by being at the shore and just taking the enjoying, taking joy in just seeing the qualities as much as we can see of the Paduka. That is the point. Then this, as I already told, that ocean is so limitless, so huge. The expanse of ocean is so huge that nobody can gauge it. Nobody can understand the limits of the ocean. So Deshika also uses some kind of science here. First, he is talking about volume. Volumetric limits cannot be understood. So the fish is in search of volume, fish, but it cannot understand because it is so huge. And then the depth, its breadth or width cannot be understood. That is why the monkeys jumped from one shore to another, but they jumped only from one point. So the entire breadth of the whole ocean cannot be understood. And the third is its depth. So depth also cannot be understood. Now, that means here another thing is there, that God cannot be understood in all its aspects or all the aspects of divinity by anyone. So it is better to just enjoy the Leelas of God. Sri Ramakrishna talks about it. He says that it's not possible to draw a limit to God. So when Master Mahashay, Mahendranath Gupta, goes and meets Sri Ramakrishna, then he asks whether God is with form or without form. Sri Ramakrishna gives a very unique reply. He says God is with form, without form, and many other things also. So then Master Mahashay, Mahendranath Gupta, is awestruck. He does not understand. How can God be with form, without form, and many other things also? So we have known that God is with form. We know God is without form. How can it be of many other things also? So because you cannot draw a limit to God. Sri Ramakrishna says in Bengali, tar iti tana jabena. So you cannot draw some limit. So that is what is explained here also. Here, of course, it is not reference to it does not refer directly to God. It also does not refer to the feet of God, but it refers to the padukas, the slippers or the footwear of Lord Ranganatha. The glory of the padukas cannot be understood. And so let us not have any kind of presumption that we will be able to understand the greatness of the Paduka. It is not possible. So this Ambu Nidhi, Ambu means water. Ambu means actually when it is used in the reference to fish, it means fresh water. And Nidhi, so ocean of fresh water. And then when it is used with reference to Hanuman and other warrior monkeys, it is the ocean of salt water. And the final reference, so this Ambu Nidehe, which comes in the first line of this verse, Ambuni Ambu Nidehe Ananya Gatibihi Meenaihi Kiyat Gamyate. So that Ambuni Ambu Nidehe, this Ambu Nidehe, though it comes only once in the verse, it is used 3 times. First, with reference to the fishes. Second, with reference to the monkey warriors. Third, with reference to the mountain, which is used as a churning rod. So, first it is about fresh water, then it is salt water, and then there is milk ocean. So, usually in the Puranas, 7 seas are talked of, and among 7 seas, this freshwater sea is one, saltwater sea is one, another, and milk sea is another. So here, neither fish nor monkey warriors nor that mountain Manthachala, cannot, none of them would have known the dimensions of ocean. So Kim Taihi. So because they don't know, why should we waste our time in trying to understand what they have understood? So that is why it is Maham Bodhi, Maham Bodhi, the ocean of the qualities of the Padukas of Keshava. They are not just Guna Ambunidhe, Ambunidhi. They are not just a huge collection of ocean, a huge collection of water as in ocean, but it is Maham Bodhi. Why? Some kind of greatness is attributed here. That because it is they are the qualities of the Paduka of Lord Ranganatha, it is Maham Bodhi. Maham Bodhi. And this is a unique word which has been given here by Vedanta Deshika, Maham Bodhi, which is not used elsewhere. And so this is so huge, these qualities, that Vedanta Deshika says that one should just admire. Now, in this context, we need to remember that Vedanta Deshika also wrote what is called Daya Shataka. So there also he talks about compassion and compassion of the Lord. Maha Amburashi. Maha Amburashi. So great ocean, big ocean of the experience of compassion. Daya Anubhava. Daya Anubhava. So that is there, that is given there. Daya Anubhava. And so great sages also, as we have seen in the previous verses, like Valmiki, it was very difficult for them also to know about the entire greatness of the Padukas of Lord Ranganatha. Complete greatness of the Paduka of Lord Ranganatha. That means the qualities of Padukas of Lord Ranganatha. And another thing what the Vedanta Deshika does is, he describes the qualities of compassion or the qualities of experiencing compassion of Lord as great ocean. And he also describes the qualities of Paduka as great ocean. He describes both as great oceans. So for Vedanta Deshika, both compassion or mercy and Paduka are great things, great aspects of Lord Ranganatha. And so here, but though it is like that, Vedanta Deshika seems to have given more importance to the Paduka than compassion itself. Then we go to the next verse, that is the 14th verse of this Paddhati or chapter, Prabhava Paddhati, and the 44th verse of the Paduka Sahasram. When we read it, there we see that now Vedanta Deshika is becoming more poetic and is becoming more generous in his appreciation or in his praises of the Paduka. Pada Kamala Rajo Bhihi Vasite Ranga Bhartuhu Parichita Nigamante Paduke Dharayantaha Avidita Paripakam Chandram Muttam Sayante Parinata Bhuvanam Tat Padma Madhyasateva. So, what is the meaning? Ranga Bhartuhu. Ranga Bhartuhu. Ranga Bhartuhu Paduka. Pada Kamala Rajo Bhihi Vasite. So, usually a person wants to put something which is having a fragrance on one's head. Head, usually we want to put something which has fragrance. But here, Ranga Bhartuhu, that that which are intimate or which are close to Ranganatha, Lord Ranganatha. What are they? Pada Kamala Rajobihi Vasite. And they are Vasite. They are fragrant. They have the smell of what? They have the smell of Pada Kamala Rajaha. Pada Kamala Raja means the dust. Dust. Raja means dust. Dust of the Pada Kamala. Pada means feet. Kamala means lotus. So lotus like feet. Lotus like feet of Ranganatha. Ranganatha. So Lord Ranganatha's lotus like feet. The dust of the lotus like feet. It is, that's fragrance. Fragrance of the dust of lotus like feet of Lord Ranganatha is there, where Parichita Nigamante Paduke Dharayantah. It is there on the Paduka. It is there on the Paduka. Why? Because Paduka is constantly protecting Lord Ranganatha's feet. And so whatever dust is there on Lord Ranganatha's feet comes down to the Paduka. Because Padukas are Parichita. Parichita. They are there. They are Rangabartuhu. They are very close to Ranganatha, Lord Ranganatha. So that is why that Paduka Raja means Pada Raja. That means the dust of the feet, Pada Kamala Raja, dust of the lotus-like feet of Lord Ranganatha is there on the Padukas. And so what happens? These Padukas, which are having a sweet fragrance of the dust of the lotus feet of Lord Ranganatha, these Padukas, Parichita Nigamante. Nigama means Vedas. Nigama Ante means end of the Vedas. So Nigama Anta means Vedanta. That means Upanishads. So Parichita Nigama Ante, those who are familiar or those who know very well Upanishads, people who have read and understood Upanishads, such people, what do? Paduke Dharayantah. So they are very eager to take on their head this Paduka. So whenever a devotee goes to a Vishnu temple, after seeing the Lord, after having the darshana, a devotee is very eager to have the Paduka placed on one's head. Paduka placed on one's head. The devotee also, that is the case with wise people, people who are well read in Upanishads. They also want to keep the Paduka on their head. Why they want to keep the Paduka on their head? Because this Paduka is fragrant with the dust of the lotus-like feet of Lord Ranganatha. It has got that fragrance, sweet fragrance. That's why they want to keep the Paduka on their head. And usually when we keep something on their head, we want it to be fragrant. People keep flowers on their head, etc. Then what happens? Avidita paripakam. Paripakam means growing and reducing, waxing and waning. Avidita, not knowing waxing and waning. Chandram uttam sayante. So Chandra, moon, the moon which we see generally, it there is Shukla Paksha, there is Krishna Paksha. So Shukla Paksha, it grows, means it is waxing. So it is growing and it becomes full moon. And then Krishna Paksha, it keeps on reducing and finally it becomes new moon. That means Amavasya. So Avidita Paripakam. So a particular moon, Chandram, which does not have these phases of growing and reducing. Waxing and waning phases are not there. Shukla Paksha, Krishna Paksha, all these are not there. Uttam Sayante. Such a moon is made an ornament of the head. Such a moon is taken to the ornament of the head, is made the ornament of the head. Parinata Bhuvanam. by which the entire universe, Bhuvanam, is transforming. Tat Padma Madhyasateva. What is Vedanta Deshikan trying to tell here? He is saying that, you see, people who have understood the meaning, who have understood the gist of the Upanishads, they try to take on their heads, bear on their heads, dharayantaha, on their heads, what? The Paduka of Lord Ranganatha, which is fragrant with the smell of the dust of the feet, lotus-like feet of Lord Ranganatha. So that Paduka, these people who have understood the message of the Upanishads, they want to take it on their heads. And they take it on their heads. And when they take it on their heads, what happens? They get the position of Paramashiva or Va. Va means or the position of Brahma. So Trinity or the Trimurti, Brahma, Vishnu, Maheshwara. So creation, sustenance and destruction. Those Trimurti. So Lord Ranganatha is there. So Lord Ranganatha one cannot become. So one either can become Lord Shiva or can become Lord Brahma. So that is the, so here Vedanta Deshikan is quite generous with the stuti or the praise of Paduka. Just by taking the Paduka on one's head, a person can become Paramashiva. Only thing is, the moon which we see on the head of Lord Shiva, it increases and it reduces. It has got waxing and waning phases. That moon has got Krishna Paksha and Shukla Paksha. Whereas if a person takes on one's head Padukas of Lord Ranganatha, then that person will also can have moon on one's head. But that moon, Avidita Paripakam, that moon has not known waxing and waning. Means that moon does not have waxing and waning. It does not have Shukla Paksha and Krishna Paksha. And either that one can become by, because there's so much glorious it is to take the Paduka on one's head, that you will either become Shiva or you will become Brahma. Will become Brahma. So Parinata Bhuvanam Tat means by which this whole world is created. From where? The Padmam, that is the seat that is lotus. So Brahma, he is seated on the lotus, or is born out of lotus. So that Brahma, Padma Madhya Sateva. So it can be in the seat of lotus. That means which seat or where Brahma sits and he transforms this universe, creates and transforms this universe. So that seat on which Brahma is sitting, four-faced Brahma, Chaturmukha Brahma is sitting, that seat one may get if one adorns or decorates one's head with the Paduka of Lord Ranganatha. That means if one takes the Paduka of Lord Ranganatha on one's own head, then that person may get the seat of Brahma. That is the idea. That person may get the seat of Brahma. So Paduka is so powerful and Paduka is so great that if somebody wants to pray or wants to take it on their head, then they will become Lord Shiva or Lord Brahma. That is the message. That is the meaning of this shloka. So Brahma Loka and Shiva Loka, they are the highest worlds in this universe. And in this universe, but Vaikuntha, where Lord Vishnu, Lord Ranganatha stays, that is beyond this universe. That is not in this creation in this universe. It is not in this universe. But in this universe, Shivaloka and Brahmaloka, they are the highest worlds in this universe. So that those highest worlds become easy to attain for a person who prays to the Paduka or who lifts Paduka on one's head. So then that person can become Shiva himself or Brahma himself. So Paduka is the great moon. So when say moon, Chandram Uttam Sayante, one meaning can also be that the Paduka itself is the moon, which is kept on the head of the devotee, kept on the head of the devotee. So Paduka has got so much power that it can bring Shivaloka or Brahmaloka, it can make that a reality to a person. So in the next verse, that is the 15th verse of the Prabhava Paddhati and 45th verse of Paduka Sahasram, Vedanta Deshika says, Sharnginaha Paduke Tvam Murdhna Sakradapi Anuvahantam Manujam. What is it meaning? So before that we will see the shloka. Sakradapi kila murdhna Sharnginaha Paduke Tvam Manujam Manuvahantam Deha Bandha Vyapaye Upacharati Yatharham Deva Vargas Tvadiyaha Satu Niyamita Bhrityo Joshamaste Kritantaha. So here again Vedanta Deshikan is Vedanta Deshika is telling the greatness of Paduka. He says, Sharnginaha Paduke Tvam Murdhna Sakradapi Anuvahantaha Manujam Deha Bandha Vyapaye Yatharham Upacharati Deva Vargaha Tvadiyaha Yatharham Upacharati Sa Kritantaha Satu Sat Kritantaha tu Niyamita Bhrityo Joshamaste. So the meaning is this. Sharnginaha, that means the Paduka of Sharangapani. The Sharnginaha, the Paduka of Sharangapani. Paduke Tvam Murdhna Sakritapi. If one, Sakrit means even once. Sakritapi means even once. So even once if a person takes on one's head, Paduka. Paduke Tvam Murdhna. Murdhna means head. Head, if once, even for once, a person bears or lifts the Paduka on one's head, Sakradapi, then what? Anuvahantam Manujam. One person Anuvahantam is taking Manujam, man or human being. Even if once a human being lifts the Paduka, then what happens? Then Deha Bandha Vyapaye. If such a thing a person has done, that means even at least once, even for only one time, the person has lifted the Paduka on one's head, then what happens? Deha Bandha Vyapaye. After the falling, Vyapaye, after the passing away of one's body, after the destruction of one's body, Deha Bandha Vyapaye. So after the bondage of the body is gone, Bandha means bondage, Deha means body, Vyapaye means after it is destroyed. So after the bondage of body is a bondage because we consider ourselves body, mind, etc. That's bondage. So after the bondage of body is gone, then what happens? Tvadiyaha, your means here the reference is to whom? The reference is to Paduka. The entire Paduka Sahasram, most of it, almost all of it, is referred to the Paduka. So, O Paduka of Sharangapani, Sharnginaha, that's how it is addressed here. Padukas, they are addressed as Padukas of Lord Ranganatha, you people want to take on their heads. Why do people want to take you Paduka on their heads? So there should be some purpose, because usually it is said, Prayojanam anuddishya modo apina pravartate. Without having purpose, even a fool will not act. So why are they taking this? Because this Deha Bandha Vyapaye, after the removal of the bond of body, bondage of body, Deva Varga Todiyaha, means your own gods. Your own gods. That means the gods of the Paduka. Todiyaha. Todiyaha means your Deva Varga, the band of or the group of gods. What they do? Yatharhi, as it is deserved, whatever is deserved, Upacharati, they respect. That means they give appropriate respect. Appropriate respect they give, and then when they give appropriate respect, they give. Who give appropriate respect? Deva Vargaha. So after the passing away of a person, means after the body of a person who lifted Paduka on one's head, even for once, after that person passes away, that means when the bondage of the body is removed, then that person, what does that person do? The Tvadiyaha, Paduka's gods. So Paduka has got many gods. After all, it is not an ordinary Paduka, it is the Paduka of Lord Ranganatha. So there are many gods, they are attending on the Paduka. There are many servants are there, gods. So what happens? This Paduka, Deva Vargaha, Tvadiyaha, that Paduka's gods, this Varga means band or group of gods, Yatha Arham Upacharati, they will give the appropriate respect to whom? To whom? The person who has in life at least once lifted Paduka on one's head. The moment the body falls off, the body goes away, the person is dead, then this Paduka's God servants, Deva servants, they come and they are like servants of Paduka. They are servants of Paduka. So Paduka is protecting the feet of Lord Ranganatha, God. So that Deva Vargaha, these servants which are gods, different gods, group of gods, they come and then they take this person who had taken on one's head that Paduka, and take this person and they give proper respect. They show all respect, and then they give proper upacharati, proper attention is given. And afterwards what happens? Sa tu kritantaha niyamita bhrityo joshamaste. So then what happens? Usually when a person dies, Yama, Krita Antaha means a person who does the Antaha or the brings about the death of a person is Krita, one who does Antaha means one who does cause death. That is Krita Antaha. Who is that? Lord Yama. Yama, Lord of death. So in Sanatana Dharma, the Lord of death is Yama. He causes death to people, means he is in charge of, responsible of the whole death aspect. When a person dies, etc., where that person will go to Swarga or Naraka, wherever that person will go, then that person has to be brought out after death. Again, birth time, that person will go. All these the works are taken care of by Yama. Yama. So when a person dies, Yama goes or sends one's workers, Yama's workers, servants, to bring that person. Not in the case of a devotee of Lord Ranganatha who has at least once taken the Paduka of Lord Ranganatha on one's head. Then this Yama will not go near them. Not only Yama will not go near them, he will say Kritantaha Saha Kritantaha. So this Saha means he. So Kritantaha means Yama. Yama. Here Kritantaha means Yama. What he does, he, tu, but, or indeed, what he does, Niyamita Bhrityo. He Niyamita. He disciplines or instructs his servants. So he tells his servants, okay, don't go near this person, because this person has lifted Paduka of Lord Ranganatha on one's head. So don't even think about going near this person. This person is out of bounds. You cannot do anything. So you just leave. And after telling the servants, Yama, what he does himself, Josham Aste. Josham Aste means becomes silent. He just keeps quiet and he is away. Away from whom? Away from this person who took Paduka onto one's head. This person took Paduka on one's head. So away from that person. So that is why the best thing to do when somebody goes to a Vishnu temple is to just take the Paduka on one's head. That's all. Then even Yama cannot do anything. Yama also will be afraid to do anything. So just a contact, a sparsha, a touch of the Paduka is enough to make us free, to remove all the bondage of our life. So here there is again an allusion, as I told earlier. Many texts are alluded to, many texts are referred to. So here Tirumalizai Alvar, he sings about how Yama should not approach. Yama is saying to a messenger, one of Yama's servants, not to approach any Vaishnava. Not to approach any Vaishnava, not to go near any Vaishnava, just to do, offer your salutations and then just go away. Because no Vaishnava can be touched by death. It is not possible, because it's a devotee of Lord Ranganatha. So it is not possible to touch by death. If the person dies, if the body goes away, then that person will be taken to Vaikuntha Loka, to the realm of Vaikuntha, Vishnu's realm, Lord Ranganatha's realm. So no, Yama will not come, or Yama's servants will not come. Yama comes on a buffalo. So those things will not be there. Vaikuntha, the Garuda will come. The vehicle of Lord Vishnu will come. And on that person will be taken to Vaikuntha, the abode of Lord Ranganatha. Why? Because this person has prayed to Lord Vishnu. That is why this will happen. Or because this person has taken on his head. So Tirumalizai Alvar is not telling that. Here Vedanta Deshikan is talking about Paduka. Tirumalizai Alvar is saying that any Vaishnava, any Vaishnavite, a follower of Vishnu, a devotee of Vishnu, should not be disturbed by Yama, says Yama to his messengers. To his messengers, he says, don't disturb this person, because this person has taken the Paduka on one's head, etc. Or this person has prayed to Vishnu. And so you don't disturb this person and you keep to yourself. Don't meddle with this affairs of this person. Here, Vedanta Deshika is now making Yama himself to become quiet. Josham Aste. So Tirumalizai Alvar is making Yama tell Yama's messengers to be quiet. Here Vedanta Deshika is saying that Yama himself is quiet and does not do anything. And does not do anything to a person who has taken the Paduka of Lord Ranganatha on one's head. So even if once a person takes Sakrit api, even if for once that person takes on one's head, then that person is left alone by the Kritantaha, by Yama. So this is what is told. So the idea is that if a person takes on one's head the Paduka, that person will be getting moksha. That is the idea. That person will be free from repeated birth and death. Because if somebody goes to Vishnu Loka, somebody goes to Vaikuntha, then that person is mukta. That person becomes free. Then here, if we take the meaning of this sloka and the previous sloka, this verse and the previous verse, then the meaning is very simple. That means if we were to respect Paduka, if we were to take Paduka on our head, if we were to be devoted to Paduka, then we can become Shiva, we can become Brahma, etc. But if we don't want to become Brahma and Shiva, then we can simply go to Vaikuntha. We can go to Vaikuntha and we don't need to go to Yamaloka. There will be no questioning. It's all exemption for a person who has taken on one's head the Paduka. Just that one Paduka one has to take. So the greatness or the glory of Paduka is such that you can become Shiva or Brahma. But if you don't want to become that, you say, I want to be just near the feet of the Lord, then you will get the highest position. You will get the Vaikuntha or Paramapada. You will get the highest position you will attain. So that is the greatness of Paduka. Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Tatsat Sri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu. Is there any question? Smriti, any question?
No, Swamiji.
Okay, so we will stop here. Shubharatri. Namaste.